Hey, welcome to day 11 of the Next Steps Ministers Training on Marriage and Family. I'm Arron Chambers. I'm a pastor. I'm a life coach and a marriage coach. I'm an author. I'm also the director of marriage and family for Christian Church Leadership Network. And I'm so grateful you're here. And if you give me 30 minutes today, I will give you back a more extraordinary marriage. Today, I want to talk to you about dealing with poo. Okay. All right. We have fun with this when I do this in a live presentation. So just bear with me here. I'm trying to not offend you with my language. I don't use bad language, but I just want to not offend you with this illustration. But Jesus says in this world you will have trouble. And we're going to have problems, right? So I want to use a metaphor for this presentation today. And the metaphor is a house with a front porch. And to use that metaphor, we all will have at one point or another poo fall on our front porch. And we have some choices. The first choice is this. When bad things happen, we can roll around in it. And if you roll around in it, when bad things happen, you become a victim. All right, you're playing the victim. And here's the thing about victims. Victims stink, and no one wants to be around them. All right, so when bad things happen in your marriage, you can roll around in it and play the victim, but you're going to stink, and no one's going to want to deal with you. Another thing is this. Is when bad things happen in your marriage, when poo falls on your front porch, you can push it to the side and not deal with it. Just push it to the side. We're going to deal with it, not going to deal with it, not going to deal with it, not going to do it. Just deny it, avoid it, deflect. Push it to the side. Here's what happens. If you push it to the side, if you never deal with your problems in your marriage, eventually you're surrounded by mountains of poo and you feel hopeless because the only way to get through it is to go through more poo. All right? So you may be surrounded by mountains of poo because you do not deal with your problems. And the third thing is this. Third choice you have is when poo falls on your front porch, so to speak, you can find something productive to do with it. I live in an agricultural community, and so I know enough to know that poo, in the proper context, is fertilizer. It is empowering. It leads to growth. What if you had something productive to do with your pain, with your heartache, all right? And when you do that, if you create like a field, so to speak, where you process the bad things that happen in your marriage, then great things can happen, great things can grow, and your marriage can be really, really fruitful. And one of the things that needs to happen is you need to learn how to have conflict productively. And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow. But today I'll just say this. If you have stuff you got to deal with, don't roll in it. Don't become a victim because you stink and no one wants to be with you. Don't avoid it because then it just becomes a hopeless situation. It's so big you don't even know where to start. I want you to find something productive to do with it, okay? So today, as far as evaluating and preparing for tomorrow, today I want you to evaluate, first of all, scale from 1 to 10, how are you doing personally in dealing with conflict in your marriage? And then second, I want you to ask your spouse to evaluate you, how you are doing in regard to dealing with conflict in your marriage. 10 is you're amazing, you're like Jesus Christ, and you handle conflict perfectly. Or 1 is you are horrible. And then next steps. Next steps. I want you to draw a field, all right, on a piece of paper over the next 30 minutes. And I want you to think of some productive things you can do with the pain in your marriage. All right, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow and give you some really practical tools. All right, so God bless you, and remember who you are.